Strobe Studios presents Michael Helgens and Greg Kilberger in The Watson Files. Coming to you from the illustrious Strobe Studios in the heart of America, this is Craig Dahlen. And now, let's join the doctor and see what story he has for us today.
Come in. Good evening, Craig.
Yes, hello, doctor. How are you this evening?
Quite well, thank you. It feels much more natural now that we're back on Sunday.
Indeed. So, I take you remembered to prepare a story this time?
Yes. As I mentioned when we last met, I plan to tell you about our pursuit of Professor Marty.
Yes, I can't wait to hear what I assume will be a battle of wits between Holmes and Marty.
Yes, it was quite the day.
It only took one day.
Oh, there you go, tricking me into revealing information ahead of time again.
There was no trickery involved.
Well, anyway, yes. It only took a day to find Professor Marty, but trying to capture him proved to be a difficult task that was not without sacrifice. But, oh, there I go again.
Why don't you just start the story before you reveal the ending?
Sounds like a good plan. So, as you may recall, we had a lead on the whereabouts of Professor Marty when former Governor Smith managed to place a call to him and Officer Weathers traced it.
Yes, but he wasn't at the house when they arrived.
Yes. As Holmes predicted, the professor was too quick for us. However, Holmes felt it was probably best that we visit the location. He was hoping that Marty may have left some clues behind in his hasty exodus. When we arrived, we found a nearly empty house that didn't appear to have been lived in for some time.
So, this is exactly how things were when your officers arrived?
Yes, I instructed them to sit on the house and not enter it. I didn't know what kind of trap they might be heading into.
Good thinking.
We did a thermal scan of the building and there was no sign of any life.
What about cold-blooded animals?
Yes, I suppose Professor Marty would fall under that category, wouldn't he?
And the only phone is the one on the wall there?
That's the only one we saw.
Well, I think it's safe to say that he hasn't been cleaning.
Clearly.
Yes, which is odd considering what we know about the man.
Indeed. I would profile him as a detail-oriented person who would certainly keep things clean.
So perhaps he wasn't staying here.
Yes, that's possible.
Well, it looks like this might be another dead end.
I'm starting to think so.
Well, Holmes? Are you going to keep looking at the dirty floor, or should we go?
There must be a clue here somewhere.
Holmes, we've been over every inch of this place, and we didn't find even so much as a footprint.
Yes, that's true.
What are you thinking, Holmes?
Weathers, you might be a genius.
You mean there's some doubt?
I don't understand.
The professor was never in this house.
That's what we've been trying to tell you.
But he took a call from here.
Right. So he just came in to answer the phone and send us on a wild goose chase, but he wasn't staying here, which is why he didn't bother cleaning the place. We've been over
Watson,
this.
you're not listening. He was never in this house. No one has been here for quite some time.
If he had answered the phone in the house, he would have left footprints in the dust on the floor.
Precisely.
So why was the call traced to this house?
That, my dear Watson, is an excellent question, and I believe the answer lies in the backyard.
All right, well, lead the way.
Weathers, did your men do a sweep of the yard?
Of course, but we didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
No, I wouldn't expect that you would.
Then why'd you ask about it?
Well, to be quite honest, I was more concerned about my safety out here than any potential evidence that your lackeys might have trampled on.
Holmes, as I've told you before.
It must be around here there we are.
Of course. The phone lines go into the house from here.
And you can splice a phone onto the line from this box.
Glad you two were finally able to catch up.
Yes, well, how does this help us?
We now know quite a bit, actually.
Like what?
Well, among other things, I know that Marty has been hiding up north in Cedarville.
How could you possibly know that?
That seems like a bit of a stretch, even for you, Holmes.
Well, if you've ever driven through Cedarville, you may have noticed a distinct odor from the cereal factory on the east side of town. There is a hint of that smell right here as well.
So, you assume that the professor somehow carried the smell with him?
I think it's entirely plausible.
Hey, do you guys see that over there in the alley?
What?
The bomb?
Yeah, these guys make great witnesses because no one ever pays attention to them. They hide in the shadows and see everything.
Perhaps he saw the professor.
I'll go talk to him. A badge usually gets people talking quicker.
All right, we'll keep searching here. I anticipate that he will confirm the professor was here, and then he left to the south.
Sounds good.
But I thought you said he was staying up north.
And Marty would not be dumb enough to just drive straight back to his hideout, would he?
No, I suppose not. Holmes, I'm afraid the professor hasn't left any clues here, aside from your faint odor theory.
Yes, it does seem that he covered his tracks well. I'll have the boys dust the box for prints, but I doubt we'll find any.
Hopefully Weathers is having better luck with the homeless man.
He does appear to be cooperating.
Yes, but will he have any useful information?
Not likely.
Ah, here comes Weathers. So, what'd he say?
Not much. It was basically just what you suspected, Holmes.
And we've got nothing here either.
Wait a second.
What is it?
Something about the homeless man.
What, are your spidey senses acting up again?
I've been meaning to take him in and get that checked.
Aha! It's the professor!
Holmes,
Trust me, come on! We can't let him get away.
He's getting into that van.
Dispatch, this is 386. I need an APB on a blue Ford van. License 293 Golf Kilo Marty.
Isn't M usually Mike?
Yeah, but in this case I figured Marty was more appropriate.
Copy that, 386. Blue Ford van, 293 Golf Kilo Mike.
Roger. Suspect is the Red Light Ripper.
Confirmed sighting?
Roger.
Now all we can do is wait.
I have another idea as well.
What's that?
Let's head back to the station. I'll fill you in there.
All right, here's the governor's phone. I don't know how you think it'll help.
There was only one number in the contact list, and that phone has been confiscated from Quentin. You won't be able to get a hold of the professor with it.
I have absolutely no desire to talk to that fiend. I only wish to check the GPS log.
But we already checked it. The phone's been all over the state. There's no way to check every one of those places.
Yes, but now we can narrow it down to locations in Cedarville.
Are you still on that one? The doctor and I didn't smell anything.
Yes, but the lack of an observation does not preclude existence.
No, I suppose not.
Hey, boss.
Yeah?
I got a hit on your van.
Where?
Heading north through Clinton. They're following it, but hanging back. They want to know if they should attempt to stop.
Absolutely not. Tell him to stick tight. We're on our way.
Tell them to drop the tail.
What?
If he's being followed, he'll disappear.
But we've got to know where he's going.
We do.
But I don't...
Look at the GPS logs. The phone spent the night at a farm outside of Clinton. That's the place.
But we don't even know that they're stopping in Clinton. They might just be passing through on their way up to Greenville.
But this farm is downwind from the cereal factory. Greenville is not.
Holmes, I don't think...
Just trust me.
All right, have him drop back. And tell the Greenville PD to be on alert just in case. So, what's the plan?
Well, Watson is going to go inside and then...
Excuse me?
Well, odds are good that it's a trap, so you go in and draw him out. Then we grab him once he exposes himself.
Why don't you go in?
Well, because it's my plan.
Yes, well, I still remember how things went down the last time we walked into one of his traps.
Yes, and if you had been a bit more accurate with that pistol of yours, we wouldn't be chasing him now, would we?
As I recall, you were the one that had the...
We don't need to quarrel over the details. Now get on in there.
Not happening.
You two are something else. I'll go in. If he wants to shoot me, fine. At least I'll get some peace and quiet. Jeez, 20 years on the force and I'm still working with children.
Who's he calling children?
I'm quite certain he was referring to you.
So, you really think this is a trap?
Yes, I do. And I'm not so sure it's a good idea for him to go in there alone.
All right, fine. But you'd better have our backs.
Of course. You'd better hurry. It looks like he's about to kick the door down.
Weathers, hold up. I'm coming with you. Max!
Oh!
I'd stop right there if I were you, Doctor.
You killed him, you son of a...
Now, Dr. Watson. Is that any way for a child to talk?
Wait, you could hear us?
Why don't we head back over there by your partner? Good to see you again, Mr. Holmes.
Professor?
Sorry about your friend back there, but that's the price you get for being brave and stupid.
Talk about stupid. You just signed your own death warrant. No more 25 to life. Killing a cop gets you the chair.
Yes, well, I don't think you're in any position to be making threats.
I have one question, though.
Sure.
How could you hear us from inside the house?
Well, I bugged you, of course.
But how?
The cell phone.
Very good, Mr. Holmes.
What cell phone?
The one we got from Alexander.
I had a feeling you might hang on to it, and you did not disappoint.
So, what now?
What now? Well, this is the part where I kill you.
So, Professor Marty did not kill you, I assume.
Clearly not. But I'm afraid I'll have to save the rest of the story for next week.
You're going to leave us hanging right there?
I can't think of a better place to do it.
All right. Well, I'll be anxiously awaiting the conclusion.
I thought you would.
Can you at least give us a hint as to what happens?
Well, no, I can't.
I was afraid of that.
Sorry.
All right, then.
You're not getting anything out of me, Craig, so you might as well cue the music.
Tonight's Watson Files adventure was written by Scott Strosahl. Spencer Holmes and Dr. Watson were played by Michael Helgens and Greg Kilberger. Additional voices were provided by Steve Rimpici. Until next week, this is Craig Dahlen saying good night from Strobe Studios.
What, are your spidey senses acting up again?
I've been meaning to take him in and get that checked.
I should really get a web slinger installed. Be easier to catch the professor with a little action. Well, odds are good that it's a trap, so you go in and draw him out. Then we grab him once he exposes himself.
Why don't you go in?
And we'll be able to arrest him for another charge.
So, you really think this is a trap?
I enjoyed the grunt. It was good.
What?
Max!
No! That was like a Mr. Ed no.
No! Wilbur, no, the barn's on fire!
No good.
No!
No. That reminds me of a joke about two horses. I'll tell you sometime. No. No. There was the neighing again. No. No, don't die.
A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed.
No.